eNCA's Nikolaus Bauer has been covering Mkhwebane's time in office. He's here to unpack the latest with us. Nick, of course, she was a no-show, we know that. Let's talk about what she's done so far. The state capture report comes to mind, top of mind, actually.
Indeed, state of capture report that was put together by Thuli Madonsela, and there was several attempts by government ministers, or then government ministers, Des van Rooyen, and also former President Jacob Zuma, to prevent its release. Eventually hit the public domain, but then there was questions over the Public Protector's recommendations that a commission of inquiry be instituted by the President, but there was very specific definitions of how that inquiry should be instituted. A specific reference to the President only providing one name to Chief Justice Mkhwebane. The Presidency, of course, at some time back challenging that in court, and Busisiwe Mkhwebane, in her role as Public Protector, did not oppose that. In other words, allowed it to go on. And this is her speaking to eNCA at the time about the muddying of the waters when it comes to the separation of powers doctrine.
Creates that issue of a conflict between the President and appointing the very same commission. So it will be good for the court to decide, because remember, Section 84 of the Constitution says the President is the prerogative of the President to do that. So the good thing is that the courts are there to interpret the law, and there's never been any like this before.
So, of course, state capture was prominent, but also ABSA made headlines in her report in this regard. She got into trouble, some would say, for it.
Indeed. I mean, her CX report is possibly her most infamous report that she tabled during her time as Public Protector, and it's only been 18 months. But essentially, she was not only accused by the South African Reserve Bank, but also ABSA of not staying in her lane, essentially overstepping her mandate by, within her recommendations, suggesting that the South African Reserve Bank's mandate needs to be changed from not only protecting the currency and remaining independent within the economy, but also pursuing various socio-economic goals to protect the poor. Having a look at the face of that CX report, she basically ordered ABSA to pay back 1.3 billion rand connected to an apartheid-era loan to Bancorp, one of the forerunners to the banks that all merged together to form ABSA. That was eventually struck down by the High Court, but we do have that bite at that press conference where Mkhwebane states that money received by ABSA was illegal.
Correct amount of the illegal gift granted to Bancorp or ABSA is in an amount of 1.125 billion. Two investigations into the matter established that the financial aid given to Bancorp, ABSA, was irregular.
By many as a way to milk the Free State provincial government. It was investigated by the Public Protector, and she found nothing had been done wrong by the then Premier Ace Magashule, his then MEC of Agriculture, Mosebenzi Zwane. We know that he went on to be the Mineral Resources Minister and was also embroiled in a number of Gupta-linked deals. But when she was Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane hauled over the coals by the Standing Committee on Justice in March, she essentially said that she wasn't mandated to search for corruption and instances of state capture during her investigation. All she was looking into was maladministration.
The issue which was only implicating the MEC was for the MEC to take action against the HOD, and the response was also bringing us to our attention that the only person who can take disciplinary action in this particular aspect is the Premier, because of the appointment and the contract of employment signed between the Premier and the HOD.
All right, controversy. It'll be interesting to see whether Parliament actually starts that inquiry or not. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Nikolaus Bauer, our reporter, tracking that story for us.